What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN, USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? OnyxCoin yesterday with a massive dump, 34% from the high. Crazy. Closing the day down, 14% down. Hitting a low of 007. I would have never imagined that happened. I would have never imagined that happened. On the bright side, this coincided directly with a market-wide crash. So it had, I would think, little to do with OnyxCoin and probably a lot to do with the rest of the market. If we look at Coinbase, which in all fairness, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but whenever it comes to this crash, I trust Coinbase, and I trust Coinbase a lot more as far as the price action goes than I do Binance or Bybit. Okay, just so you know, because those exchanges, they reached a little bit lower, and I don't think that was real price action. I think that was just there to stop hunts. That's all it was, right? Clearing people out, making them sell. That's all it was. Where this is, I think, is a little bit more realistic, and what we have here is a nice double bottom on top of that, right? Finding support right there at the base. Immaculate support too. We're on a weekly time frame. We got 1 day, 11 hours left. Half of this week is a wick to the downside. It's actually not that bad of a week, right? It really doesn't look that bad. You know, I was going through X.com here, and let's see. Somebody said, I know this feels painful, but Bitcoin was the same price 11 days ago. it was. Bitcoin's still chilling, and I know XCN is the same price now that it was back in April, but it's still up. It's still up overall compared to the average altcoin this cycle since late 2023. We're up 13x. The average crypto is not up that much right now. That's for damn sure. I mean, in fact, what is the average crypto up since late 2023? Even since their bear market lows. Let's see. That was late 2023 or early. That was late 2022 there. The average crypto right now is up only a 3.7x. 3.7x, 271%. That's it. That's all it is, right? This thing's up a lot. It's still up a lot, and OnyxCoin, if anything, is at a better price to buy now than it ever has been. I'm definitely considering buying some more right now. XCN, $320 million market cap. You guys, the amount of people that wished they bought down here before we pumped, right? The amount of people who FOMO'd into the top because we pumped from here to there in 3 days' time. I'm telling you, XCN holding support like this, double bottom, it's only getting set up for one thing and one thing only. It's new all-time highs. It's a massive move. It's a continuation of what we've seen already. And I know that moments like this are hard in the markets. I know it's hard to see the sunlight, but the sunlight will shine. People look at moments like this as if there's no opportunity or as if they blew their opportunity. This is an opportunity right now. And maybe you lost money yesterday. Maybe you lost some money in the drop. I don't know. But whatever capital you have in your accounts, whatever capital you have, even in crypto, depending on what cryptos you're holding, maybe they didn't get hit as hard. You can reallocate things or allocate more funds into coins like this that have taken a bath this week, right? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but there's plenty of avenues where you can get some money and put it into crypto right now. This is definitely a good time to do it. $0.009 right now. 1 day, 11 hours left in this week. Sundays are typically green. They're typically bullish. Saturdays are typically red. So today, we moved up a little bit from the aftermath, but I would expect that we do see some volatility here. We probably do come back down a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised at all if XCM went even just below this 0085 level here. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did, okay? As far as TA goes, we can look at some various things, but on a daily time frame, if we're looking at this from a low to a high, we hit our 1886200 level. I don't think we go below there. We found support at the golden ratio today. Maybe that holds a support. It depends on what we do. If we get above about 1.044 cents on a daily closing basis, we validate this as a low and we start to look to move higher. We get above 1.127 cents. That's where the golden ratio is right now, the 618 right here. If we get above 1.127 cents on a daily closing basis, that does validate this as a low entirely. There's no doubt about it at all. And now we're looking to break out of these highs. But I would like us first to focus on 1.044 cents. Once we get above there, I think that'd be very encouraging. And ideally, we form higher lows. So if this is a low, cool, let it be the low. 1886200 level, right to the 1618. The next low should be at the 1414. The next low should be at the 1272. You know, if it's to be like that at all. Maybe we find support here tomorrow or the next day, and then we come up. Just because we get above the 886 doesn't mean that this is the low, but it starts to really look like it. We can get above the 886, come back down, find support here, and then continue to rally. There will be some volatility over the coming days. I wouldn't be surprised if with this massive drop that we saw yesterday, without a whole lot of volume, really, there wasn't much volume at all. And in fact, I wonder if we look at XCN here, XCN on CoinMarketCap. Come on now. I need to get some water, man. 15% volume. 15% volume is actually a lot of volume, to be fair, for the drop. So that was a substantial drop, but a lot of that volume, I bet came in on that wick. Yeah, a lot. Look at that. A lot of that volume was probably buying volume. Like, if we're being fair, most of that volume was likely in the form of purchasing orders, not selling orders. So, you know, we see a lot. Whoops, we see a lot here. We see 15% volume. What I see is not selling pressure, but probably buying pressure. And every buy is a sell, every sell is a buy. That's really how it is. A lot of volume on the way down, if we're being fair. A lot of volume on the way down, less volume on the way up, but there were key spike moments where people have been accumulating, right? Fat fingering this thing and sending it through the roof, right? Trying to put money in at the right times. There's definitely been a lot of acquisition going on at these levels, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we had some bullish repercussions because of it, right? I have a theory that Bitcoin's going to be consolidating probably for the next month or for the rest of October, at least going into the end of October, and that altcoins are actually going to rally. My theory is this, you guys, just genuinely speaking. I think that right now people are really starting to bite the narrative that Bitcoin is the cash cow, that's the one that you should be investing in, that altcoins are a scam. Especially after a crash like this, that happens. And every cycle that I've been in, this is my third cycle. The prior two cycles, it's right when everybody is on board with Bitcoin being the safe haven, that they should invest in Bitcoin. Altcoins are a scam. It's right at that moment that altcoins take off. This whole cycle, everybody's seen the potential that altcoins have to offer. And we know about Bitcoin, but we haven't focused on it. Moments like this can really drive that impact, that Bitcoin is the key vehicle to invest in to make money in this game. It's not altcoins. Altcoins are a scam. It's at this point in time, I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin consolidated and altcoins really started to rally. Everything's on a discount. These altcoins have been beat up already, and they just went on a massive discount. You guys, Morgan Stanley, where is it? There was something here. I can't find it, but Morgan Stanley, it was one of these little upload things. Oh, it just changes. That's why. Morgan Stanley literally announced yesterday, or sorry, 2 days ago, the day before the crash happened, they announced that their what was it? That their constituents, their customers, their clients can invest in crypto. Let me just see here. Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley. And we'll go to news. Yeah, this one. 24 hours ago. So before the crash, actually. Isn't it coincidental that before the crash, that's when Morgan Stanley, one of the largest institutions in the world, drops restrictions on which wealth clients can own crypto funds? So now your wealthy clientele, they can invest in crypto. Coincidentally, on the same day that everything was on discount. Happy birthday to Morgan Stanley people, right? Coincidentally. Don't tell me this wasn't orchestrated, guys. OnyxCoin at 0.009 right now, prime opportunity to buy. That's really my only thoughts on it, right? I would treat it don't treat it like this, okay? Don't treat it like here you are right now, okay? Don't treat it like that. Treat it like here you are. Here you are right now. That's where you are. And what's going to happen as a result of this, right? If we dumped like this, okay, OnyxCoin's dead. But we didn't. We dumped like this. We pumped like this, right? Even across the craziest dump that we've seen probably all year in 2025 at least, this was nothing for OnyxCoin. This is actually it was a little bit bigger than maybe the average drop over here, but we've seen bigger drops. On February 3rd, we had an even bigger drop here. We had a bigger drop here back at the end of January, right? We've seen bigger drops than this. And this was a double bottom of which we found an immaculate reaction. We found support here at the low. From the low to the current price, we're up about 20%. Okay, that's a very fast reaction, very, very fast reaction. I do assume that we could go a little bit lower still. We might be finding support here. If we return back to 0.085 or even lower than that, I wouldn't be too surprised. But at the same time, if we start ripping from here, if we start rallying from here, I wouldn't be surprised either. There's a lot of volatility right there, a lot of handshakes going on right there. What I mean by handshakes is transactions. You look at the 1 hour time frame, we have bullish divergence. The MACD is starting to shape up a little bit. 4 hour time frame here is just desolate, but of course it is. Stochastic's actually showing some bullish divergence. And everything remains the same. Everything remains the same, you guys. From a high to a low, the expectation here is that OnyxCoin still goes to a 26 to 32 cent price. The only difference is that now that's about a 28 to a 35x. Back at the end of April, that was a 13, 14x, right? At the maximum, at a minimum, that was a 12x. Now, right now, we're talking about a 29x. You've got immense potential, and all the charts, everything still makes sense. We can look at the XCN BTC pairs. I don't want to do it in this video because I want to wrap this video up here, but maybe I'll do one in the next video where we'll go over the in-depth analysis as to why 26 to 32 cents makes sense, and only that area makes sense. We can make some sense out of this area, but even that, even a 15.7 cent price is a 17x, and let's just drop the ball all the way down. Even an 8 cent price, which is the minimum target after we see new highs, which doesn't really stop at an area that makes sense, in my opinion. Even that's a 9x from here, okay? You lost money yesterday. You lost money in this drop. You didn't if you're still holding OnyxCoin. You didn't if you're still holding your cryptos. You didn't if you're holding dollars. You did if you were leverage trading. You did if you panic sold, right? Then you lost money. But if you've got money in the game still, you're going to make a 9x on this at a bare minimum. And by the way, really, I would think that it's more of like a 15.7 cent. Like you're probably going to see like a 17x at a minimum, genuinely. I think that we're going to hit that 26 to 32 cent price inevitably by the end of this year. And then going into 2026, we should be reaching for this $1.03 to $2.60 target. By the way, $1.03 now gives you over 100x, where before it wasn't even 100x. It was like a 70x, 80x. Now it's 100. It's like 110x. Massive potential here, you guys. Massive potential. Okay. There's opportunity whenever there's fear and blood in the streets, and there's a lot of it right now. But this reaction, holding true to your double bottom like this, I think it's beautiful. I think it's a thing of beauty, and as long as we continue to move up, I would say once we're back above 1.3 cents with this kind of reaction, there's zero doubt. There's absolutely zero doubt that we're doing anything but breaking out to new highs. And I very much anticipate that the movement up will be similar. It'll be matched to what we saw here. And even if it takes the same amount of time, let's just do that real quick. Let's say it takes the same amount of time. We slowly move up, and then we have our big blow-off finish. 11 weeks. I'm not saying that it starts this week. Maybe it does. 11 weeks from now, that puts us in the end of December. By the end of the year, if we saw that, if we saw that same movement, which I'm not saying we will, I think that we'll see similar but not the same. That same movement takes us all the way up to, well, I guess 32 cents. Yeah, we could. We could. That's the maximum that we could see, 26 to 32 cents by the end of the year. Wouldn't that be perfect? I do expect something like this to happen either by the end of the year or sometime in November. But I've got nothing else for you guys. I'm just repeating myself at this point. I think I've said enough. I hope everybody's faring well out there. Buy the dip. Definitely buy the dip. We are in full hands-on buy the dip moments right now. I don't expect that we're going to get an immediate pop from the markets right now. I think that we're probably going to chill for a week or two. Maybe in that time altcoins rally. Maybe some of them do. I would expect some do come to life. But don't get eager on every pump, and don't get depressed on every dump that we see over the next week or two. I doubt we go lower. Very confident the lows are in, but I doubt that we pump immediately from here. But I would love to be wrong on that. Hope that we do. Anyways, you guys know the path ahead. Everything is still on track. We're just a little bit lower now at a better price to buy. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.